And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
With all these games behind me, sometimes you forget the most simple games and the games that have entertained people for years and years, one of those games being the game of Hearts. Now, most people know Hearts because for a while that was one of the few games that you could play on Windows, and so a lot of people played Hearts that way. I'm actually surprised at the number of people that I met, especially of the younger generation, who have never played Hearts, and in fact many people who've never played what we call a trick-taking game. Today we're talking about HeartSwitch, or HeartSwitch, or I don't know exactly how to pronounce it, but this is a variant on Hearts. So if you're someone who plays Hearts, you will instantly be easily able to pick this up. But even if you haven't, you can still jump into this. I've played this with both types of players. HeartSwitch adds some extra cards. It's more than just a deck of cards with new rules. But one of the biggest things is, since the deck now goes up to 60 cards, it allows you to play the game with 6 players, or even with 5 players, because 60 is very easily divisible by 3, 4, 5, or 6. Let's take a look at the game, and we'll be back. Okay, so in this game, you have a regular deck of cards. It has the 4 suits in it, with ace through king. There's a lot of these different cards that are included. So why would you need this over a regular deck of cards? That's because this game also comes with 4 magicians. Each of these is not actually one of a suit. They have a star on them. And it also comes with 4 witches. So we're going to talk a little bit about how the game plays first, and then I'll come back to talk about the merchants and the wishes. What you're going to do is you're going to deal all the cards out to everybody. You're going to look at your hand, and then you'll pass some cards to somebody, depending on how many players there are in the game. Then one person, the person to the left of the dealer, is going to go first, and that person leads with any card they want. So you can see here that here they played the Jack of Clubs. Now, because they led with the clubs, the next person must also play a card that is clubs. So they play the 8 of clubs, and so on and so forth. Each person must play a card that's clubs. Now, if you don't have clubs, you can play anything you want. So this person, by playing the Jack of Spades, is indicating that they do not have any clubs. The person who plays the highest card of the suit that's led, in this case clubs, takes the trick, it's called. So that means they get all these cards, they're mine, and I start again. Now, I can play clubs again. I play clubs. This person is out of clubs now, so they play the King of Spades. This person plays the 10 of clubs, and then this guy plays a heart. Now, again, the highest person takes it, the 10 of clubs. That was what was led, and so this person's going to get it. And here they're in trouble, and that's because hearts. Now, most of the time, hearts mean good things, Valentine's Day, etc. But in this game, each hearts card is worth 1 point, so you want to take as few of them as possible. Even worse, the Queen of Spades is worth 10 points. Oh man, nobody wants her. So you got to be careful not to take the Queen of Spades, or set yourself up so that you will take the Queen of Spades. There are also those witches that I told you about. Now, a witch is between a 10 and a jack. So a witch is basically, I guess, 10.5, if you can think of it that way. Each witch does something different. The Witch of Hearts doubles the value of all the hearts you get. Now, you can only get 15 points worth of hearts total. So if you take 7 hearts in the Queen of Witches, or 8 hearts, I guess, then what's the harm in taking a few more? But still, there's one good witch, the Diamond Witch. Oh, how nice she is. She actually subtracts 5 points from you, although you can't get negative. And then there's this nasty Witch of Spades. She is a plus 5 points. Not as bad as the Queen of Spades, but still pretty bad. Fortunately, if you take the good witch here, I'm just going to call her Glinda, the Witch of Clubs, she cancels both of these if you've taken them. So if you've taken them, hopefully you get her, and she can cancel one or both of them if they're in your hands. Now these gentlemen here, the magicians, are all the same basically. When you get them, you can play them whenever you want, even if you have, for example, if someone leads with hearts and I have hearts in my hand, I can still play a magician. That basically, I can't win the trick, I don't get anything, I'm just sitting out that trick. If you lead with a magician, which you can, then the next card that's led is the suit of the trick. So this person played a clubs. So you go around and everyone will continue to play cards until all the cards have been played. Then you count up the points and you add them on a score sheet. That is, the game comes with score sheets where you'll be able to keep track of how many points people have gotten. Now this game also has a shooting the moon clause, which says basically if you take all the hearts, every heart in the game one person takes, and you take either the Queen of Spades or the Witch of Spades, then you've shot the moon. If you take them both, you've really shot the moon. If you just take one, then you've done okay. Now, shooting the moon gives everyone else points. Small slam is if you take all the hearts and the Witch of Spades, you give everyone else 15 points. I'm sorry, 20 points. If you take the Queen of Spades and all the hearts, you give everybody else 25 points. And if you take both, that's a grand slam, you give everybody else 30 points. And you keep playing rounds after round after round until someone has 70 points, at which case whoever has the lowest points is the winner of the game. So that's how you play HeartSwitch or anyhow. That's how you play this game. Now, granted, it's a trick-taking game, and I think that I guess it's good that they kept the regular suits and everything. I would have thought it'd been cool if they had done something neat to the cards, put some kind of cool theme on them, since they have the ability to do that since they're making a custom deck of cards. Card quality isn't the best in the world. I wish it was a little bit better, because if you're going to play this game, you're probably going to play it a lot. And the backs of the cards, I don't know what it is, but it bugs me that you can't turn it upside down and it's the same thing. So, I mean, on the front of them, they look the same, but on the back, you can tell the difference. That's not a big deal. That just annoys me. Those are minor quibbles. I really like hearts. So this game, I very much enjoyed. I like the fact that it goes up to 6 players. 6 players is much more chaotic than 4. All right, with 4-player hearts and stuff. But there's still the decent strategies. Those magician cards are great. Just when you think you're going to win a trick, or you think you have to win a trick with points and you don't want it, you can throw one of those cards down. Now, there's a few things that this game does not do. I believe in hearts most of the time. You cannot lead with hearts until it's been broken, in the sense that you have to play hearts when somebody else leads a trick and you have no more of this type. Let's say they play spades, you have no more spades, then you can play hearts. And then after that, you can lead off with hearts. This game rules does not mention that at all. And maybe that's a variant of hearts that there's multiple ways to play hearts. This game is fun, though. I very much enjoy it. With 6 or even 5 players, very difficult to shoot the moon, although not impossible. And it's still a fun strategy for me to say, well, I think I'm going to take a lot of points this turn. Let's see if I can get all of them. I don't shoot the moon very often. Kind of telegraph that. I think trick-taking games are a lot more strategic than people give them credit for. They're very fun, and I've always found them very relaxing. I like throwing them down. So this one gets kudos from me. I mean, adding the 4 witches gives some very simple extra cards to throw in there for different points, and that doubling hearts one is fun to watch someone get that. And those magicians add that get out of jail free card type thing where I can play it and go, whew, no points for me this round. So if you like hearts, I really think you'll like this. Unless, of course, you're one of those people, I must have purity in my heart. Well, then fine. Go ahead. Have purity. But for the rest of us, I think this is a cool addition. And hey, you can play with 5 or 6. 5 is a very good number. HeartSwitch.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door now.